Hey guys, so I've been a little MIA for the past, I think, month or so because I was doing a 21-day fast with the society, with Tatum and Kabaya. And we did a 21-day fast from social media. And this started, I would say, in November 4th through the 25th. So I just wanted to talk about my experience with the fast and what I got out of it and why I decided to do it, leading up to it, and where I am now after it. So I got some notes. Let's rewind a little bit back to June. So over the summer, I had finally decided to invest in Jessica's program for the Fashionpreneur Academy. So Jessica Williams, she's the owner of A Regular Exposure and the Fashionpreneur Academy. She's in all these other businesses as well. And she's originally from Baltimore, Maryland. She used to have a boutique called A Regular Exposure here in Baltimore, downtown, off Charles Street, I think. And when she had first opened it back in 2017, I saw it on social media and I was like, who is this girl? I had never seen her before. I had no idea where she came from. And I was just like, okay, maybe I need to know who she is. She was in fashion, of course. She had her own line, and she had her own store. So I knew she was somebody I needed to know. So she opened up the store in 2017 and I ended up going there, I think in September of 2017, to like just support and to go connect with her in person. So I believe the following month we did a strategy call and she really like put me together. The strategy call at the time was like less than $500, and we literally worked together for maybe like, I think 30 days. 30 days we like had one-on-one, like access with each other. It was great because she doesn't even I don't even think she does that anymore. But she basically told me to start doing branding photo shoots, to start offering packages, and to do all these things that at the time I was just like, I don't really know if I could do that. I was just too scared. I didn't really like understand how to even start doing stuff like that. But I kept it in the back of my mind. I took notes and I created all these packages and I just left them in my Google Docs. That's where I take all my notes. So fast forward to 2019 for the 90-day intensive that I finally decided to invest in. I was excited to really just reposition my business and myself. I've been wanting to work with her for a long time, but I couldn't afford it. So my parents actually helped me in investing in her, which I'm thankful for. And it was great. It was a 3-month, 90-day, intensive. And we had an online program, which was pretty like a self-taught program. So basically it was pre-recorded videos of her talking, going through the PowerPoints and the presentations, and just hitting on each topic that we should know as fashion business owners. And I mean, I definitely learned a lot from the program, but it also reiterated a lot of things that I used to do that I had actually stopped doing, as far as following up, being consistent, posting almost every day, sending out weekly updates, blogging, and just really, doing exactly what I used to do that I had stopped doing. I had stopped doing it because I didn't want to annoy people. I felt like I was doing too much. I got too busy. I didn't have a lot of time. And at the time I was like working when I had stopped doing it. So work had gotten in the way of what I was doing. So Jess's program really reiterated a lot of things that I had stopped doing and basically confirmed that I needed to get back to being an actual business, running like a business, doing things that business owners do, and that real businesses do. And to not be afraid to annoy people, because if they want to work with me, if they want to know what's happening, they need to get updated, right? People get emails all day from Walmart and all those other stores. So you can do the same thing. It's quite all right. So Jess's program helped me in a way because it really reiterated, like I said, a lot of things that I used to do that I had stopped doing. And she also, one big thing that she also did that I learned from her was help me to create a process for my business. So a streamlined 3-step process that every client would go through when they were working with me or trying to work with me. And at the time, I was doing a lot of a la carte services, offering a lot of one-on-one services, and it wasn't working. Like, I kept like working with people just one time, and they weren't coming back. And for anybody who doesn't really know the styling industry, it's very it's not very lucrative, and you really have to be creative in order to really have consistent business, and you really have to be offering something of value. You really have to know your customer. You really have to know what your customer wants in order to make money. And that wasn't happening for me, hence why I decided to start and do the 90-day intensive with Jess. So she reiterated things for me. She helped me to create a process, and it was working. Low-key, it was really working. Step 1, I did the consultation. Step 2, the strategy session. Step 3, the packages that I finally recreated after like years of sitting on it. I finally went back into my Google Docs and kind of took all the notes that I had already had planned out and just recreated it in a way that made sense for my business for those packages. So the 3-step process, I'm like, this is about to work. This is about to be everything. Yes, thanks, Jess. So it started working, but I realized that nobody was moving past step 2. Nobody was signing up for the packages. Nobody really wanted what I was offering. So basically, I was trying to create the packages for the clients instead of me offering what they were looking for. I was trying to tell them what they needed, and that was not working. That was a problem. So now, I'm stuck again. I was getting money from the consultations, getting money from the strategy sessions, but nobody was trying to like move past to the packages. Nobody was investing in my packages. So that made me stuck again. And at the time the program was ending, I couldn't really ask Jess for any more help unless I wanted to pay her again, and I didn't have any more money. So I didn't really know what to do. I kind of reconfigured the pricing a little bit. I decided to get my clients to actually build their own packages and personalize it that way, but that still wasn't quite working. So I didn't know what to do. So the program ended in September, and before the program ended, I was listening to the Blessed and Bossed Up podcast, and an episode came out August 26th, and it was the episode that Tatum did with Raven. So Tatum is the host for the Blessed and Bossed Up podcast that I listen to on it pretty much every week. And on August 26th, she released an episode with Raven Hocat. Raven is an amazing individual. She is the business coach, or she was the business coach for Jess. She was the business coach for Tatum, and she basically helped a lot of women leave their 9-to-5s. Her program, or her business at the time, was called the Pink Slip Retreat, but she also did conferences. She also did, one-on-one consulting and things like that. So she was an amazing business coach that helped a lot of the women that I look up to really be successful in their businesses. So she did an episode with Raven Tatum, and it was called Supernaturally Paid. Tatum was doing a supernatural series. So one of the episodes was about having your own home, getting paid, and doing all these things supernaturally. So that particular episode stuck with me because during that episode, Raven talked a lot about, really having a specific mindset and really believing in God for what you want out of your business and things like that. And from that episode, it kind of spinned into a program called Supernaturally Paid, of course, that or a masterclass, So it kind of spiraled into a masterclass, a 2-day masterclass that Raven offered to the listeners of the Blessed and Bossed Up podcast for free. And during that 2-day masterclass, she basically dug deeper into what she was talking about in the episode with Tatum. And it was a really good masterclass. Like, she prayed for us. Everybody was crying. Like, it was just a lot going on. And from that masterclass, she started a program called the Paid Gang. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page, the 90-day intensive with Jess ended in September. The episode with Tatum and Raven came out August 26th. The masterclass was the end of August. I started the Paid Gang program with Raven in the beginning of September. So all of that happened in that little bit of time. The program was set to be about 12 weeks, once per week, 1 day a week. We would meet on Zoom, and she would basically talk about each topic every week, and have different sessions and things. So I was excited about that. You know, the fall was starting. I knew that this time of year was so big for every small business owner. This is when a lot of people begin to spend a lot of money. The school year was starting back up. People were going back to work. Summer was pretty much over. And, the holidays were coming. So I was excited. I'm like, all right, I'm about to join this program. I'm about to make all this money. Let's go. But none of that happened. So the program started. It was great. I also learned a lot from Raven. I learned, how to really have faith in myself, have faith in what I was offering, and really know the value that I hold as a business owner. And of course, different ways to market myself, different ways to really attract my target audience. Raven taught us so much. And of course, I had to pay for this program. At the time, I had money. I don't know where I got money from, but for some reason I had money. So I was able to afford the program. But the funny thing was that the program, to get into it, it was $150, and then it was $97 for, I think, 7 weeks. And I was struggling to get through that program to pay for it. I was just doing all this stuff just to get the money to pay for this program, and it wasn't that expensive. So, but needless to say, I was able to pay for every session, and I got through the program, and I learned so much. But throughout the program, it lasted from September, October to November. And the first couple of sessions for the Paid Gang were basically talking about positioning yourself and having the proper mindset, and just, having faith in what you want from God. So she told us to set this high goal, not even a high goal, but a goal that we felt as though was that we were able to reach financially in our business for the month of October. And she was basically saying how, we shoot for these small goals because we're fearful that we may not hit them, but we should probably shoot higher and just have the faith that we can hit them, with God's help. So I set this huge financial goal of $2,500 for the month of October. And it was funny because in October, I had planned to have another Cocktails and Corporate Content event. I had all these speaking engagements lined up. I just knew that October was going to be a fruitful month. And October comes, and I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money in my business. I ended up not having Cocktails and Corporate Content. I ended up repositioning the event to be a free event. Only maybe 3 women showed up. October was just not happening the way that I had planned it to happen. And I was so confused. And I was hurt. I didn't know what to do. Clearly, I was in my waiting season. And I didn't realize that until after. And I still am in my waiting season. But it was the beginning, I feel like. Because I was questioning whether or not I should even still be styling, whether or not I needed to get a job, because I had bills, I had student loans I had to pay for, and I didn't have any money. And thankfully my parents were supporting me, but I don't like when they pay for stuff for me, so I try to like pay for things on my own. But it was just a lot. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't really invest in myself. I couldn't really like afford to do anything. I could barely put gas in my car. And I was just confused at why this program wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be. So, I mean, of course, I finished out the program. It was great. I learned a lot about myself again, and I was able to get a free business audit throughout that program. I also won a free ticket to the God is My CEO tour, which ended up being in October, which was, you know, great for me because that was a great experience within itself. And it was just like a lot going on at the time. A lot going on, but not a lot going on in my business, but a lot going on personally with myself. Me just figuring out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to handle this situation. So a lot of great opportunity came out of that time period in my life. But financially, nothing was happening. So I didn't know what to do. But before the program ended, I ended up getting an email from Tatum. I can't remember when that email came. I think the end of October. It came maybe like the week of Halloween. I got the email, and she was inviting us to be a part of a 21-day fast. So I just knew that this was like the perfect time, and I knew that this was it. So fast forward back to the fast. I had signed on to do it. It was free. It was literally a 21-day fast from social media with Tatum and Kavaya, which was basically a spinoff from the God is My CEO tour, because Tatum and Kavaya, they both did the God is My CEO tour together. And of course, I got a free ticket, and all that stuff had happened in October. So I was excited. I'm like, all right, this is about to be it. Like, and it's funny because I said the same thing about Jess's program. I said the same thing about Raven's program. And now I'm saying the same thing about the 21-day fast. This is it. Like, my business is about to skyrocket. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need nothing else. And not to say that none of those programs were helpful, because they were extremely helpful for me. But I still was missing something, and I didn't really know what that thing was until like now. Clearly, it was my faith was missing. And my belief in God and what He could provide me was missing. So I felt as though the 21-day fast came at the perfect time, because I knew I needed to build my relationship with God, and really, you know, dig deeper. I wanted to hear from Him. I wanted to do exactly what He told me to do, and I knew that this was going to be it. So the 21-day fast started November 4th, and it ended November 25th. So it consisted of us having a 6 a.m. prayer call every morning, Monday through Friday, daily devotionals every day, no social media. We even did afternoon calls the last week of afternoon prayer calls the last week of the fast. And what else did we do? We had Bible studies and all of that. So everyone who was a part of the 21-day fast had access to this forum where we could basically type out our testimonies and connect with all the other women in the 21-day fast, and listen to the prayer calls again, and all of these great things we had access to for free. Like, Tatum and Kavaya was really giving us so much for free. Of course, it was leading up to a subscription, but other than that, all of this was for free, just so that we can get a taste of what this program and this society will offer us in the end. So the first week of the fast had passed, and I'm like, you know, I'm not really feeling nothing. I'm not hearing from God. Like, what's supposed to be happening? I just know that I'm waking up early and I'm tired as crap. Like, what is really going on? But, you know, it was still kind of early to tell. So I still gave it some time. So the second week comes, and this week had gotten a little bit easier as far as like waking up, because my body was used to it now. I was scheduling my posts through social media. Like, I wasn't tripping over social media. Like, I'm not like pressed to be on it every day. But I know that it helps my business, so I was trying to stay relevant by just scheduling my posts, which helped. But I still wasn't really getting anything from it. Like, I was praying more, I was seeking God more, but I wasn't really hearing from him, or, I didn't feel like he was really talking to me. And it's crazy because on the morning calls, the individuals who were in the 21-day fast with me, all the women, they had these crazy testimonies. Like, I've been delivered from weed, I've been delivered from my gay, my lesbian life. Like, all these amazing things were happening to them, and I'm just sitting there like, so what's about to happen to me? Nothing's happening. Like, I'm confused. Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not doing something enough? Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, but I kept at it. So week 2, we're in week 2, and one of my friends who was actually doing the fast as well, she emailed me, because of course she couldn't DM me. She emailed me, or did she text me? One of the two. She reached out and she had asked if I was interested in having someone be an intern under me. She knew of a woman who had a student who was interested in an internship opportunity with a fashion business. So I'm like, yeah, cool, let's connect. So I connected with the woman. She was awesome, and she connected me with the student. So this all happened via email, and I was able to connect with the student via email and just schedule a call with her. So when she had emailed me, I saw that her name was Imani Payne. So I'm like, all right, cool, So a couple of days later, I was in the forum, and I don't know what I was reading, but someone's testimony or message had popped up, and the name had said Imani Payne. So I'm like, is this the girl that is supposed to be my intern? Like, that's kind of weird. But I wasn't too sure. And I mean, my first thought was, yes, it's her. But then I was like, yeah, it's probably not her. So I finally connected with Imani over the phone. And I was telling her how I can't really look at her social media right now, but if she could email me, her resume, in her portfolio, or a link to her website, or whatever she had for me to look at, to just kind of go through and see if this internship was something that she was interested in. She also mentioned that she was looking for an internship with a stylist so that she can learn how to break into the styling industry. So I was just like, how ironic, like what? So aside from that, I had compared the email that I saw on the forum with the email that she was emailing me from, and they were 2 different emails. So I'm like, oh, this isn't her. Like, I got confirmation it's not her. But when she had emailed me back after our phone call, she was sending me her resume and her portfolio and all of those things. I had looked at her resume, and I saw a different email on her resume. So I went back to the forum, and I looked at the email that was connected to the forum, the Imani Payne on the forum, and those emails matched. So I'm like, oh my God, this girl is doing the 21-day fast. Like, how crazy is that? So I email her back. I'm like, thank you for sending me all your documents, but I wanted to ask you if you were doing a fast with Tatum and Kavaya. And she's like, yes, oh my gosh, I am doing the fast. Oh my God, like, I've been asking God to send me like people that are of him and that could like teach me things and stuff like that. So she was excited, and I was just like, that's crazy. But it also, made me think of, I said this wrong. I said all of that to say it also made me feel like I needed to do something that I had been wanting to do for a long time. So I said all of that to say that, during the fast, I felt like I didn't really learn anything, but throughout the fast, a lot of things happened and were confirmed that I didn't realize were confirmed until after the fast. So the fast ended up ending on November 25th, And I decided not to move forward with the subscription because I just didn't want to spend the money on it. I didn't want to spend the extra money, but I was, of course, going to continue the motions of waking up early, praying every day, and really reading the Bible, and really just allowing God to guide me where He needed to guide me. But on the last day of the fast, I ended up having a therapy session. So I had started therapy in October, and I started therapy because I wanted to really be able to talk to someone who didn't know me and really get an unbiased opinion on the things that I was doing, my thought process, and everything that was happening in my life. I wanted to be able to talk to someone who had no idea who I was. So I started therapy in October, and I ended up getting linked with a therapist who I didn't really feel like understood what I was going through and couldn't really relate to what was happening in my business. And they kept asking me, after my first session, they kept asking me, like, is there anybody specific that you want for your therapy? Like, as your therapist, is there anybody you're looking for specifically? And I'm like, no, I can get, honestly, you can put me with whoever. I can get whoever you guys have that's available. Like, I wasn't about to like force anything. I kind of just wanted to happen organically. So I ended up staying with the young lady who I didn't really want to be my therapist, just because I didn't want to, mess anything up. And it's not to say that she was a horrible therapist. She was an amazing person. She was very nice. But I just feel like she wasn't giving me what I wanted her to give me until November 25th, the last session that I had with her. So as I was talking to her in that session, I was telling her that today was the last day of the fast. She was asking me how it went. And I was telling her, I didn't feel like I got out of it what I wanted to initially. And it was great. Like, I enjoyed the praying. I enjoyed the Bible studies a lot. Like, I enjoyed the break from social media. But I'm still struggling with hearing from God. I still don't know what He wants me to do. Like, I don't know. And she's like, okay, well, I mean, what happened? She's like asking me like what happened throughout the fast and things. And I was telling her, it's crazy because throughout the fast, like, I really realized how much like I love like HGTV and interior design. I also had a lot of speaking engagements throughout that time, which I really enjoyed. And I also connected with a young lady who was interested in interning under me and learning from me how to, build a styling business. Like, it was a lot. And she was like, well, maybe you actually did get something out of doing this fast. Sounds like you got clarity to me. I'm like, maybe you're right. So, like, the past couple of days, I have been reconfiguring my business and really figuring out what I enjoy doing the most and how to really make my business what I want it to be. So I decided to really reposition Sophisticated Chic to focus on speaking, consulting, and coaching. So, of course, those three things are going to be what I'm focusing on and what I plan to do in 2020. And I'm excited, and I'm not going to dig too much deeper into what each of those three things are until the next episode. So just be sure to tune in to the next episode of this segment, because there will be more. And I hope you guys can keep up with me throughout this journey. I know when I talk, I'm like all over the place, but hopefully you guys really understood my story and how I survived the 21-day fast from social media, and why I haven't been on social media. Now you know. and what I'm really trying to do in my life and my business, because these past like 6 months have been crazy. I went from Jessica's program to Raven's program to Tatum's program, Tatum and Kavia's program, to feeling like I haven't gotten anything from any of those women other than things that I had already knew, or other than things that were pretty general, to now repositioning my whole business to something that's probably bigger than me. So, and this has been something that I have been talking about doing for a long time. I just didn't know when to do it, or who to do it for, or if it even made sense. But now I feel like I feel like I have so much clarity on what I'm supposed to be doing, and speaking, consulting, and coaching is what I will be doing and what I'm passionate about in 2020. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. So stay tuned for episode 2 of this little series. I don't even know what to call it, but I'll figure out a name. But thank you for watching. I hope I did not bore you, and I hope you're not asleep right now like Jordan is over here. But yeah, wake it up. Wake that ass up. But thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.